everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Joy Evans.
And I'm Mike DeLisio.
And today we're playing a game called Twinkle Twinkle.
Aw.
Which you'd think would have been a name used already.
I would think so.
You'll never guess what this game's about. It's about stars or building a constellation. This is from Eamon Anderson, who is best known for No Mahalo last year and has now several games coming out. This game, though, is not particularly...
Similar?
Well, it's not similar to that game, but it's also not particularly something that you haven't seen before. It's just a couple mechanisms where you're putting down tiles in a grid and trying to score the most points. Here's how it plays. In this game, each player will have the 5 objects, there are 5 in the base game, that will be scoring over the course of the game. And you can play with either basic scoring or the blue side with more advanced scoring. But the game plays the same regardless. Using a board over here, you'll draw 5 tiles for the current round and 4 for the next round. If you ever draw a tile that has this little clock hand on it, that's a better tile than most, and it slides over here before you add more tiles. Players are going to be in turn order, placing this in a spot where they want to take the tile in the current turn order. And once all the players have chosen which one they want, these are going to move up like that. The tile that's here moves all the way over to the first spot, and then the other tiles move up. Where the players place will now be their turn order for the next round, and you'll draw 4 more tiles from the bag and placing them here, remembering, of course, to put the tiles with the time symbol on them at the very end. Now, when you take a tile, you can place that tile anywhere you want on your board. There's no restrictions other than how it will score. As you place the tiles, you can flip and rotate them any way that you want to. Now, no matter what, you're always going to be scoring stars at the end of the game, and the game ends when everyone has completely filled up their boards. So there's 20 tiles that you'll be placing. You'll pick your 2 largest constellations, and that's the connections of lines that you have here, and you'll score the number of stars in each of those. Depending on the number of stars, the number of points you get, and then the number of constellations, which means it needs at least 2 stars that you have. And then nova stars, these ones that are full, will score you a point as long as it's not next to one of these nasty black holes. And then, like I said, over here, you'll look at the different objects that are in the game. In the base game, there's asteroids, black holes, satellites, comets, and planets, and each of them will score. For example, in the base game, planets just give you 3 points each. In the advanced, they're 2 points. But if you have the most, you get an extra 8 points. Comets will give you 3 for each constellation that's next to it. And in the base game, they just get 1 point for every star next to it, etc. Whoever has the most points, after you add everything up on the point board, is the winner of the game. Yeah, as I said at the beginning, I don't think anything here is particularly mind-blowing innovative, in a sense. Right. There's the whole pick the tiles, and the tile you pick helps you pick the next one. We've seen this in games like King Domino. Mm-hmm. That's probably where it's best known for that style. But I will tell you, anytime that's in a game, I like it. I love the whole concept of, I want this tile, but I don't want to pick last next turn.
Right.
Which seems to come out more in this game. And then other than that, you just take the tiles and put them. There's no restrictions to how you put them, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the game, really. It's just the scoring other than that. There's not more to it. And I'm not trying to be, this is not a negative thing necessarily about the game. I just think that it just has those 2 main things, and that's it. The other thing is, you won't notice it as much in this base game, but because there are 5 different items, you can expansion switch items in and out. Like There's an expansion that adds 5 new items, so you can have 3 of these items and 2 of the other ones, and you can mix and match. A little bit of fiddliness maybe for setup and purposes and all, but that's it. What did you all think about the components?
Oh, first off, I'll say that's the one thing. You're right. A lot of similarities between this, King Domino, also, some tiny towns I like as similar to this too. But this components stand out. The components are really, really nice on this. I think that's really where it rises above for me. Because components, for me, King Domino, that was one that I was fine on the game. Because the components are just like, man, this one, they look really nice on the table.
Yeah, it's really a top-notch production, just from a production and a visual point of view. That's really, I think, what might potentially set it apart from some of those other games. Because you're right, Tom. I really think there's no way of saying this without it sounding negative, but there's really nothing innovative about it. Nothing that I haven't seen in other games. Variable types of scoring, we've seen that. Drafting tiles and then having turn order considerations, we've seen that. But as you mentioned, Tom, I happen to like both of those things. So it's not necessarily a negative, but I would not be looking to Twinkle Twinkle for innovation or for something that's going to be like, oh, I haven't seen that before, because you likely have. The production, though, is something you don't see very often. Very nice acrylic tiles that have the white printing on them that stand out against the black boards that you have in front of you. Very good quality on all of those. And so the production and the art, such as it is, there's really not much art other than on the cover, it is very nice.
And because they're acrylic, it does actually have, if there is one innovative thing, it's that. That you can basically flip the tiles. You can move them. You can see through them. And so, I mean, other games they just have to reverse stuff on the other side of the tile, right? But this works really well, and the stars are a constant. Mm-hmm. No matter what the items are, you can always just say, forget all items, and I will just collect and build a lot of constellations and big constellations, and that's a very viable way to victory.
As a matter of fact, I think that people undervalue the constellations sometimes, and they're looking for the quote-unquote special tiles. But if you ignore that because it's dual constellation scoring, as you mentioned, not only having, your two longest ones score, but also the number of different ones, you can really, if you ignore that at your peril.
Yeah. I think that those add to, it's nothing new again, but the puzzle on this, so many different paths to victory, that's what these style of games have.
I think most gamers are going to get this and play it and go, why would anyone play the basic side? Because it's very, very basic scoring. But I think that's actually one of the strengths of Twinkle Twinkle. I think Twinkle Twinkle is a game for people who haven't played a lot of games. You can play with those very simple rules. They understand the stars. The only fiddliness of the stars, and the rulebook goes out of its way to explain it, and after playing it, I understand why, is the diagonal lines do not curve. So if it's coming up diagonally through, it doesn't, and you have another diagonal, you can actually have two constellations crossing each other. So there's that, but after you teach that, and this one's 3 points, and this one's 2 points for each thing it's next to, the basic scoring things are really basic, and I think it makes it a good introductory game.
Right. Yeah.
I agree 100%. As a matter of fact, I think that my preference for playing Twinkle Twinkle will be to play with the most simplistic scoring rules, because at that experience, it's super fast and I can teach it to almost anybody. Like, I don't think this is far beyond like Ticket to Ride. Maybe it's close to the same. It's very simple to understand. And everything also is right. You don't have to remember any of the scoring because it's right there. The constellation scoring is on your board. Those variable scorings are right there. And on the easy side, they're very easy to understand. I understand and I appreciate that, oh yeah, you can switch them. You get the more thinky ones. But to be honest with you, if I want a thinky puzzle game, I don't think I'm going to go to Twinkle Twinkle. I think I'm going to find a thinky puzzle game. I like that it's there because some people may really like the theme and that will be enough for them. I want to play this particular game, but I want it to be a little more complex. For me, I'm going to be using it as kind of a welcoming type of a game with the simple scoring rules that will play in about 45 minutes on the long end with a full player count.
What would you give it?
Again, I'm with Mike. Mike's everything I want to say. I think it hits that gateway filler type thing where it is a puzzle style game. And again, I wouldn't overcomplicate it. I can come in at 7.5 on this because I do like it. Again, I think this also has a similarities to other puzzle games, but it'll be more appealing to new and experienced gamers because of the look, because of the components. So although it has nothing new, I think the components have an upgrade, and that's really refreshing.
Yeah, for me, I'm coming in at a 7 because while I do recommend it as an entry-level game, I'm going to be very specific about who I'm presenting this game to. It's going to be, I think, people that that have not played a whole lot of games or have played primarily lighter games that particularly like this theme and this look. It's like, do you want kind of an entry-level space game? Well, there's not a whole lot of those actually, right? Unless you're going to like the very simple dice games, space games are typically reserved for more of these epic feeling type games. So if you want a space game that plays pretty quickly, that just about anyone can play across a wide age span, I think I would certainly recommend this for that. If you're looking for a more complex puzzle game, I think you could probably do better, but a 7, easy to recommend for a specific group of people.
Yeah, I'm very close to both of you. The 7.5 for me. I really like the acrylic tiles a lot. I am curious to see how well, though. I mean, this copy that we played on got played at the Dice Tower Library. It got played pretty heavily, and they're not that scratched, because that was my concern. Yeah. That they'll get scratched up. So it looks pretty good for that. I feel like this kind of game has that same little flaw that all these games do. I don't know if it's a flaw, but the good thing is you can put your tiles wherever you want. But the way these games are, often on the last 2 or 3 turns, you're just going, well, I'm kind of done. Right. Just give me a tile. It doesn't really matter what goes in this spot. Nothing out there is going to work for me. Sometimes it does, but these games, the high is in the middle, where you're attaching and connecting everything. But I still enjoy it. I don't know if I said my number yet.
7.5.
7.5, I did. Okay. I like it a lot. And again, for me, I don't mind the more complicated rules, but it just depends who I'm playing with. Yeah. And so I could play with either. I could play with some easy, some hard. Again, you can kind of do what you want, and that's a neat thing. I have not, as of us recording this, played with anything from the expansions yet. But I want to try that out and see how that will affect, will I like that stuff more or not? We'll find out in the future. So there you go, folks. That's Twinkle Twinkle. Check it out. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Joey Evans.
And I'm Mike DeLisio.
Little star, how I wonder what you are. Ba ba black sheep, have you any wool? It's the same tune. Did you know that?
I did.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.